It's December 1985. American's Unabomber kills his first victim in California. The Netherlands gets its first black TV newscaster, and the nerds go crazy when a mystery delivery of 3,000... I can't do it.
I loved how you switched from American into the Dutch. That was quite beautiful. I just want to take a moment there to reflect on that. Yes?
Yes, there was a seamless transition, yeah?
This is a keeper.
And the nerds go crazy when a mystery delivery of 3,000 brand new Spectrum 128s arrive in the UK, only for Spectrum to deny they existed. Whitney was saving all her love for you, even though George Michael insisted he was your man in the singles chart. And topping the album chart was Now 6 and Now the Christmas album.
Now 6. Oh,
can you imagine?
God.
Roger Moore steps down as Bond after 12 years. Rocky IV set the record opening for a 3-day weekend, and a young Tom Cruise stars in his 7th movie alongside a devilishly handsome Tim Curry in
Legend.
Welcome back to the Rewind Classics Movies.
Just going so well tonight, isn't it?
Welcome back to the Rewind Classic Movies podcast, about films we probably saw as kids, even if we didn't understand the adult themes. I'm GB, and with me is my co-host AJ.
Huzzah! It's me, AJ, and I've seen this film, which is great.
Hurrah!
Huzzah!
We'll get on to how long it took you to watch this film shortly, I'm sure.
Yes.
What have you been up to recently?
I've been bloody everywhere. I'm tired of catching planes. I seem to spend my life in airport lounges recently, which I know I say I think every week, but even more so recently. It's just been insane. Do you know what? I have been listening to Frank Langella's memoirs.
Oh, yeah.
That's been keeping me going. I haven't actually really had a chance to watch anything or do anything. I did go to the cinema last night, which I alluded to in last week's podcast when we were talking about the fast forward for Supergirl. I went to see Disclosure Day, the new Spielberg movie, which is quite good.
But decent chat about it. If you're interested more in your view on it, you can listen back to last week.
Swing. But yeah, Frank Langella's memoirs. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful. It's such an easy listen. He narrates the book as well. So I'm listening to it on Spotify and sitting on the plane or wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing. It's just great.
He's got such a beautiful...
Oh, it's full of sex stuff. It's just full of... It is. I mean, it's not full of orgies or anything like that, but there's a lot of compromising situations and, like wink, wink, nudge, nudge going on. It's lovely, but also... He's like a genuinely really interesting guy, and he's got such a good voice and a really interesting narrative voice. And I was casually hanging out with Jackie Kennedy at her beach house. So I'm sorry, you were doing what? And just the names he drops, it's just wonderful. It's a brilliant book. It's a brilliant book.
Is it called Dropping Names or something? Was it?
It is something along those lines.
Yeah.
I'll just look it up now, and I can actually tell you what it's called. So Drop Names: Famous Men and Women as I Knew Them. He's talking about a bender he went on with Richard Burton, and then suddenly he's with like I said, Jackie Kennedy, or hanging out with the president, or he hung out with absolutely everybody. Like, he was invited to all the parties and to go and hang out with all the people. It's just super, really, really cool. There's nothing linear about it. And there's nothing, it's all just matter of fact. It doesn't actually feel like juicy gossip. You feel like you're there with him. It's just, it's great. Actually, I highly recommend it. It's really, really good.
Awesome.
One of our Patreons, Kat, got me into it and mentioned about it. Because I did bring it up when we were talking about it during He-Man. Because obviously he plays Skeletor in the original He-Man. And I mentioned that this book was in existence, and then our Patreon reminded me about it. And so I've been listening to it. It's actually great. So I recommend anyone to have a go at that for sure.
Nice.
What about you? What have you been up to?
Well, I went to see Supergirl at Cinema, which we did last week in that episode, and recorded a podcast with a composer and a student of Berklee College of Music about the music of John Williams, which will be out at some point TBC. But that was a really good chat.
As a little teaser then, give us a little teaser.
Right. Well, so we both bring off...
Specifically about John Williams?
Yeah, so we bring 5 of our favourite John Williams scores to the table and talk about them and rank them.
Schindler's List?
That's not in there, I'll be honest with you.
I mean, it's haunting, that violin. I mean, it's depressing but beautiful. Beautiful
But
piece
what's
of music.
good is I am a musical numbskull, as you know. My music theory is not good.
Oh, right. Musical theory, yes. We're both crap at that. Considering we're both professional musicians, we're shit at musical theory. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Toured in bands for 20 years. Can't tell you what's going on really scientifically.
No.
But she can. So it was really good to be able to go, look, this is really good. Why does that work?
Sure.
And I got quite some nice info that was really useful and really helped understand what was going on with a lot of it.
Oh, wonderful.
So that was lovely.
Lovely. I look forward to listening to that.
Thank you. Yes, it was good old fun bashing of heads, politely, because she's nice and lovely. Right, before we get into it, remember you can join us over on Patreon for behind-the-scenes updates, ad-free listening, early episodes, monthly live hangouts, and more. That's at patreon.com/rewind classic movies.
But you can also support the show for free by leaving a review wherever you listen or by telling someone else about it. Please do that if you can. If you know someone that likes Legend, then please send them a link or tell them to search for us on their interweb search browser of choice.
Right, directed by Ridley Scott, who had done The Duelists, Alien, and a little film called Blade Runner, and released in 1985. Legend cost $25 million, not including marketing costs. It would not break even at the box office, making it only $23 million.
Here's the thing. Sorry to stop you. We were talking about it just now, last week in Supergirl. We always talk about it costs this much and then marketing costs. Why don't they put it all together? Is there a reason why it's just like this and then marketing costs?
I think it's because they don't have to disclose the marketing costs.
Okay.
I could be wrong. But basically the rule of thumb is whatever the cost of the film, you double it. And basically that's the film and the marketing costs.
That's mental, isn't it?
And that's what it needs to break even, basically.
Yeah.
So if this costs 25 million, you're looking at wanting to make 50.
Yeah.
And it made 23, so it's come up short.
Yeah.
It received poor reviews, and even today its popularity depends on where you look. 6 out of 10 on IMDb, 4.5 out of 5 on Amazon, and only 33% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. But it did win the British Society of Cinematographers Award for Best Cinematography and was nominated for multiple awards for Best Makeup and Visual Effects. In 2015, the Daily Telegraph described the movie as the extinction event that discouraged Hollywood from making fantasy films.
I can see why.
Oh, so tell me about your history with this movie.
Right. Well, I have no history with this movie that I remember. I've definitely seen it in the past, but I don't know when, and it's not really stuck with me. So I had very little memory of it. There are certain scenes where I sort of remember bits and pieces. I definitely have seen it, but also some of it just sort of reminds me of, I don't know, like Labyrinth, for example, or stuff with, goblins and bits and pieces or like Lord of the Rings flashbacks and things like that. There are moments where I think, oh, have I seen this before? Is this another film I'm thinking of? So I think I've seen it, yeah, but I have no real personal history with me. It's interesting you note, though, about how Rotten Tomatoes is sort of like 33%, 34%, something like that. Whereas actually, but the audience is at 73%. That's a huge split. So the fans love it.
Well, we can't wait to get onto what we thought of it.
I know.
Especially as
like good.
Well, I think I saw it as a kid because my first girlfriend had it on VHS and it was always around, and that cover was really distinctive. But I have zero recollection of it, so I was going into this completely blind, as if I'd never seen it. I couldn't remember a single thing about it, and as I was watching it, nothing was familiar. So I am going to say, before we get into it, that I tried watching this during a heatwave. I believe, as did you. And it felt like hard work. So I'm going to hold my hands up now and say that I'm not sure this is my fairest rewind, and neither am I sure this is going to be our best work.
No, I mean, basically, I had to watch this film in 2 parts because we put it on and I was watching it with the kids and it was really hot. And I know you guys are having a really mental heat wave in Northern Europe, which is unprecedented. It's hot here as well, so we're also suffering a little bit, as well as trying to pack the house up. And we sat down and watched it. The kids got bored, and I fell asleep. So I had to come back to it today and sort of rewind to where I'd fallen asleep and watch it from there, because there is a lot going on, and I did want to, give it my all and stuff, and actually watch the whole thing. But yeah, that's where I'm at with it. I won't lie.
I also watched it in 2 parts. I just got so hot, and I just had this moment of realization where I'm like looking at the screen going, I don't know what's just happened in the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just not invested in it, and I want to be fresh to watch this because I want to give my honest opinion on the film. I do. I don't want to just be like, oh yeah, whatever. I did want to. I did revisit it and come back to it. So
let's talk about the start of the movie. This is where you get all thespian on me.
Okay, cut to the woods. They're creepy. Right? Lots of creepy woods, and then we stay there for the rest of the film. And that's it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. There's some castle action as well.
Some castle action.
And that's it. The whole film lives in an enchanted forest, and it's really slow to start. And I want to tell you about the start, but I don't really. I mean, it's just lots of wood action, and then this woman goes. this girl goes to the washerwoman that lives in the woods and who's lovely and
who reminds me of Fanny from Robin Hood's Prince of Thieves.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'll give you that. And then she's like, "Don't go down to the toadstool ring or something." Like, okay, and then she does, and then Tom Cruise happens as Peter Pan, and yeah, what I mean is, usually you've got this sort of start, but I don't really know how to tell you about the start other than like, what the fuck, what?
And we get a goblin talking to someone that we can't see.
Yeah. So there you go. That's the start of the film. And it sort of carries on a little bit like that.
Yes, yeah, it does. But let's talk about how this movie came to be. I should sound more excited, shouldn't I? But let's talk about how this movie came to be.
I know. So, God, have we got to talk about that? I know. It's not good, is it? Go on.
Ridley Scott came up with the idea for a fantasy art film. That says all I need to know.
But the thing is, Ridley Scott's an established director at this point. Like, he knows what he's doing.
Well, he came up with the idea for a fantasy art film that would have limited audience appeal while making his first feature, The Duelists. He didn't get around to making it next though, because he went on to make Alien and did pre-production on Dune. How did that go, Ridley? Oh, it didn't.
Yep.
And his initial story idea was about a young hermit who has to rescue a beautiful princess and then transforms into a hero when they battle the darkness. I believe in a thing called love.
Just listen to the rhythm of my heart.
That I would watch.
Yes. Oh, brilliant.
Can you imagine that? If someone said to you, "Oh, go and watch this movie where it's about Tom Cruise battling the darkness," and you're just expecting Justin Hawkins.
Yes, with like no shirt on and a Les Paul like as an axe or something. Yeah.
Just before filming Blade Runner, he worked with novelist William Hjortsberg, who was already writing classic fairy tale stories, and together came out with the plan for one called Legend of Darkness. Oh, I like that title. In which the princess is transformed into a furry beast who is whipped and seduced by the bad guy, at that time going by the name Baron Coeur de Noir.
Okay.
Which, is that evil of the night? Coeur. It's something bad.
Noir is black, isn't it?
Yes. I've got a feeling coeur is a swear word. Anyway, it went through 15 versions, which took out large chunks of subplot because it was too long and too expensive to film. And the filming was almost ruined when 10 days left of the shoot, the set at Pinewood burnt down on the lunch break.
Dude, I've got a story about that later. It's nuts. Absolutely. Cool. Have you seen the photographs?
No.
Oh, right. So I had a look at the when I read that it burnt down, I did see if there was a sort of behind the scenes thing, and there's this actually video of this smouldering wreck of the 007 stage soundstage at Pinewood Studios. It gutted it. Absolutely.
Funnily enough,
insane.
I've seen some bits of that from when I was watching James Bond behind the scenes.
It's amazing. They had to rebuild the whole thing. And it's funny because they talked about the watchman who was, on duty, and he was used to pigeons flying in and out, and the pigeons would come out, and he says the pigeons come out for a breath of air and then they go back in. This is Ridley Scott telling the story. And he says the pigeons would fly out and then they fly back in, and all of a sudden the watchman says, all the pigeons suddenly flew out of the building. He thought, this is a bit weird. Went in, and it's just smoke, like the whole thing's on fire. And made the phone call. And by the time the fire trucks got there, it was too late. But yeah, nuts.
God.
Basically, there was this tracking shot that they wanted to make. There was this nice tracking shot that they'd lined up that they wanted to make. They'd set it all up, got it all ready, broke for lunch, and they never got to make this tracking shot. And they said they got this rough tracking shot. They sort of test filmed it, and he said it's gorgeous, the shot, and they were really, so they could never make it.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah, there you go.
But they quickly moved to another stage and filmed in a garden at Shepperton Studios without causing too much of a problem from the sound of it. But it wasn't safe in post-production either, with the original 2-hour cut having chunks cut out after test audiences saw it, losing half an hour. But after releasing in the UK, Ridley Scott and Universal stopped the American release so they could entirely replace all of the music. More on that later.
Right? Later. Yes.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the casting. Tom Cruise.
Young.
But is he young?
Well, he hasn't had his teeth fixed yet.
Yeah, he's 22.
Well, that's young. Younger than me.
Yeah, but it's not young as playing this character, who looks like the feral kid from Mad Max 2 when the first time I saw him. And I just thought Tom Cruise was fine. In fact, I think I found him a bit weird. I wasn't sure at first if I was meant to like him. He's just this odd little guy.
He's kind of... Do you remember reading Stig of the Dump when you were a kid? No. Okay. Oh, all right. Well, he kind of comes across as a sort of Stig of the Dump to me.
Right.
Never mind. All right.
He kind of gives me the creeps. And even by the end, I'm like, I wouldn't leave my kids with him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he's meant to be this sort of pure character, but it's just odd.
It's funny that Ridley Scott and Tom Cruise have never made another film.
Yeah. What is funnier to me is the idea that Tom Cruise has already done risky business by this point. It was about 4 movies before this. And his very next movie the year later is Top Gun. It's
nuts that a Top Gun's a year later. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. I thought it must have been, sort of like 5 years down the line. No.
I went into this ignoring the year and sort of thinking that this was actually a young Tom Cruise. But 22 and a year before Top Gun.
Done some serious working out. Well, I don't think he was particularly buff in this. And then Top Gun, obviously, there's the volleyball scene.
The volleyball, yeah.
He looks significantly older in Top Gun.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It's incredible, really.
What do you think of him in this, though?
I don't really know. He just sort of rolls around a lot and puts on some armour and doesn't really know how to wield a sword. Not that, I know much about wielding swords, as we alluded to in the past. But I don't know. How do I feel about him in this? I don't know. It's all right.
It's all right. Yeah.
I mean, it's just any other film, but it's Tom Cruise. Like, I know Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise. Everyone knows Tom Cruise, and it just doesn't feel like Tom Cruise in this. But also, it's one of his early films. So, but you're saying that, but Risky Business was before this. So bloody hell, actually, I don't know, it just feels weird. Like he wasn't really being directed, but then the whole film doesn't really feel like it was particularly directed.
But what we've just said is we can't believe that barely a year later he's in Top Gun, which sort of means that actually Tom Cruise, acting-wise, has nailed it.
Yeah, right. All right, I'll give you that.
He's played this youthful kid and then plays a more mature fighter pilot in the space of a year.
Pilot. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, fair play. Sara.
And her cleavage.
Sara. What do you think?
Yes.
She's playing the Princess Lily, right?
She is.
Fucking her singing songs is dreadful. This is my notes. Her singing songs is dreadful. She's a little bitch. She's meant to be a princess, and when Jack tells her they are special creatures, she says she doesn't care. Let the fucking devil take her. Irritating.
Yes.
That was some of my notes.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I don't understand why you're meant to have this princess who's meant to be good, and in the beginning you sort of make her responsible for the death of the unicorn by being irresponsible.
I know. She went on to do Ferris Bueller's Day Off the next year.
Oh, did she? I don't really know her.
No, I don't.
But yeah, I sort of felt the same about her all the way through. Like, her character didn't work for me because I didn't care for her. And my favourite moments for her is when she went dark. Like, that was a cool look, and I would have preferred her to have had like a proper dark turn and not come back. Tim Curry.
Whoa, yes, absolutely.
Here we go.
Good God Almighty! Right, absolutely. Far too late. Like, they need to bring him in much earlier.
Yeah.
But I guess that amount of makeup, putting him on, would have just bumped the price up too much, having him on screen too much.
See, my initial note was I like that we don't see him for a bit. Like, I liked that they kept him back. But my next note is I wish we had more of him because it just takes way too long to get to him. Don't show him in the first scene or the first third. But come on, we need this in the movie. Like, this is what is sort of missing.
Mate, those horns. Whoa.
Oh, it's just phenomenal.
Face. But not only that, but his acting. And you can see so much Frankenfurter going on as well. You can see so much of it and the things he does and just with the eyes and just the way he talks. It's just wonderful. It's just brilliant. He just plays it absolutely brilliantly.
It's a stunning design. Yeah.
Wow, scary.
Yeah, genuinely scary. I know people have said that about this, but it's like the stunning design that still holds up to me. It looks incredible. Mm-hmm. And part of me, like, you watch him and you go, how are you managing to hold yourself up? Because that looks heavy. Mm-hmm. There's a line in it when he says something like, I sense something in the forest, a force. And I'm thinking, fucking hell, Star Wars' influence is all over everything. David Bennett as Honeythorn Gump. Fuck me, he's irritating too.
So irritating.
God, put some clothes on. Stop being a twat and bloody blink.
Just put on a shirt, man,
Oh, God. There's nothing worse than having kids tell you what to do, is there?
Yeah. It just, especially when they're down by the fire and he's like, they're all discussing this, you touch the unicorns and then they're all friends and then, it's just weird. It's just weird. It's all weird. It's just weird. The whole thing's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alice Playton as Blix, which, I'm sorry, I couldn't help thinking about Team America.
How's Briggs? How's Briggs? You're breaking my balls, hands. Let's left.
Oh, God. Blix looks good, but the goblin voice I thought was a bit naff by today's standards. That sort of go-to voice changer sort of thing. Not his finest moment. She's also the voice of Gump because they thought David Bennett sounded a bit too German, apparently.
Wow,
so
okay. Jesus.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I thought they were quite cool, all the goblins and stuff, and everyone plays it just fine. But that's about as much as I can give it. Tell you what was lovely, though. Billy Barty as Screwball. Nice to see Gwildor again.
Yes.
And that's all I've got to say about him. I mean, this is 2 years before Master of the Universe, isn't it?
Must be.
But he's basically Gwildor. Bless him.
There's Robert Picardo, who played Meg Mucklebones as the Swamp Hag. So Robert Picardo went on to play the Doctor in Star Trek Voyager.
Yes.
And what was really cool, and it's a shame it didn't happen, is that Ridley Scott wanted to get Richard O'Brien in for that part to reunite Frankenfurter and Riff Raff, obviously. And that would have been so good.
Yeah.
That would have been brilliant if he'd taken that up. I don't know why he didn't. I don't know. I don't know. I couldn't find any more information. I just saw that he tried to get him in for that, and I thought that would have been quite cool, actually.
I didn't see any kind of alternate casting options for this, really.
No.
It's pretty much as is.
He said that I saw an interview with Ridley Scott who said he wanted Tim Curry to play it because he said it was actually, he took a risk playing Frankenfurter, and that was a really outlandish thing to do. So it's like, yeah, I want him to play the devil. It's like, let's get him in to do that. And it's great that he did.
Am I right in thinking that Ridley Scott watched Rocky Horror to check out Richard O'Brien for the role you just talked about? And while he was there, he went, Tim Curry, he'd be great.
That I don't know.
I don't think I made that up. I think I read that somewhere.
Okay, no, I don't know.
So what are the visuals then?
There's just one more.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to note from the cast, which is, I don't know if you noticed. I halfway through the film when you see all the goblins and not the goblins, the dwarves and the shorter people running around doing their thing. I shouted, "That's Deep Roy!"
Oh, really?
But it's not Deep Roy. And it looks just like Deep Roy. It's a Kiran Shah, who's a Kenyan British stuntman that looks almost identical to Deep Roy.
No way.
Yeah, so not Deep Roy, but I thought it was. I thought it was one of his early films, but no, it wasn't.
Excellent. It was Shallow Roy.
Yes.
Visuals.
Temu Roy.
God. I love the look of this movie.
Sorry, I was drinking as you were talking. The look of this film is stunning.
Yes.
I think it is the main redeeming feature of this film. Everything else is just a bit nuts. But, man, the set building and the lighting and everything around it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. They've got fantasy right on the fucking nail there. It's brilliant. It's stunning. All of it is wonderful. Even the castle, the interior, the lighting, it's just great.
It's flawless.
Every moment of it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it makes me want to go build more fucking sets. Stop using CGI, build stuff, throw some smoke around, get some, because it transforms from like this lush forest to suddenly this snowy, ice-filled, hellscape. It's like, look what you can do, look what you can create without any special effects. And I know it was a long time ago and you can do a lot more now, but you can still create incredible sets. Please do more of that because it looks gorgeous.
It's funny you say that because they built a woodland set on a studio for The Force Awakens, and it was all practical with some lighting and stuff, obviously. And it doesn't look half as good as this, and that was 2015. I don't know why in the modern era things just don't look as good. It's really weird.
Is it because it's digital film?
No, it was shot on film, I think.
Right.
It's just, I think there's something about the technology of the way things are perfect, or maybe the lenses are too perfect. Because this looks beautifully like film. The way the highlights react and all that kind of stuff, it looks really nice.
It does. I mean, the lighting is gorgeous as well, because there's a shot of Tim Curry. And when he's going off on one, he's trying to sacrifice the unicorns or whatever's going on, and he's backlit. It's just before they're trying to position the mirrors, and he's got his hands in the air or doing something, and it's just this backlit, and you've got the spots behind him up and the shadows, and it was just brilliant. I mean, I think testament to Ridley Scott and also the cinematographer, like, done a stunning job of it. But it's just more of that, more of that. Why can't we do that? And
I love that some shots are just not in perfect focus. There's a bit in the forest when she first meets Jack, and I think it's a close-up of her, and I think the focus is maybe 2 inches behind her eye where it should be.
Right.
But like, who cares, right? And I think that's the thing, is we just worry so much now about technicalities and stuff, and the whole feel is off.
I can totally forgive the wobbly horns on the unicorns, like, that's fine. Doesn't matter. It's all good. They look like they've been sellotaped onto the front of a horse. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
It's funny because Ridley Scott said he would have liked to have filmed it at Yosemite National Park, where they went and did some scouting, but it would have been too expensive and too tricky. So they spent 14 weeks building this forest set on that 007 stage, Pinewood, before it burnt down. And they had 60-foot high trees with trunks that were 30 feet in diameter, made out of polystyrene.
Wow.
But Ridley Scott wasn't convinced it was going to look good enough to shoot until literally days before they rolls. But it looks so good.
Amazing.
But the style of it is interesting because Ridley envisioned it in the style of Disney animation. That's why he was going for Snow White, Fantasia and Pinocchio were the three main ones on his inspiration list. And they offered it to Disney and went, Disney, do you want this as a movie for you? And they went, bit dark.
Fair enough.
So
I mean, it is, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it
is a classic fairy tale, but
when you think about the black hole and that's
Well, that was 7 years before this, and I think they'd learned their lesson.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But even all the prosthetics, all the creatures, all the wardrobe, all the sets, any miniatures, it is all top draw. The look of it.
It was all led by Rob Bottin, and he's he's done prosthetics on quite a few films, and there's one actually in particular that I might talk about in the Fast Forward coming up after this, where we can talk about our favourite films with brilliant prosthetics and makeup.
Yeah.
And he was the guy responsible for all the camera, the in-camera prosthetics and suits, animatronics, all that sort of stuff. And it's just so good. It opened when you see the goblins straight up. You can see them talking and their mouths are moving. Everything's seamless. Like everything's so well done, and the noses and the makeup and everything is just bloody brilliant. Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. It doesn't look like someone dressed up with loads of makeup on. It looks like a genuine thing, and it's absolutely incredible. So I do love that about this film.
Any more for your visuals?
Darkness. That, and the 5.5 hours it used to take him to put his makeup on every day and stuff like that. Just incredible. Just, wow, really.
Worth it. I mean, you get out what you put in.
Absolutely. That's it for me for visuals. It's just, I love them. I loved the visuals. They were gorgeous. Absolutely.
It's an S tier on visuals.
Totally.
For sure.
Totally gorgeous. Yeah. And just the bubbles, and it's just fucking acid trip of visuals. It is wonderful.
Yeah. Right, the music then.
Yes.
Fucking hell.
Jerry Goldsmith.
The music situation here is really fucked up.
Depending on which one you watch.
Yeah. I don't know another movie that has this scenario. As we'll talk about later, there are multiple versions of this movie. But on top of that, the European version has music by original composer Jerry Goldsmith. But Ridley and Universal clearly fucking hated it, because after the European release, they pulled it, stopped the US release so they could change the score entirely. They ditched Jerry Goldsmith, whose work I'm usually a fan of, but I can't say I love anything here. It's largely forgettable. And they brought in German electronic artists Tangerine Dream, along with songs by John Anderson of Yes and Brian Ferry of Roxy Music.
Brian Ferry isn't it? Is your love strong enough of the end credits on the US version or something nuts like that? Yeah. Like, what? I mean, all right, I've not seen the US version. That's for sure, because
I didn't know it existed until after I'd watched it.
I didn't. When I researched this, it's like, you what? You really? Okay.
But I am going to read. I'm just going to find a message a minute, because someone messaged us on Instagram when I said we were doing it, and had quite an interesting insight. Annoyingly, the messages have disappeared. That's a pain in the ass. But anyway, long story short, what they said is they absolutely love the Tangerine Dream version, even though they're in the UK. That's the version they knew, and they just said it's not worth watching with the Jerry Goldsmith score.
Now that's interesting. I'd be up for possibly having a view of that then.
I'm not. I'll be honest with you.
I mean, I'm not going to either. I'm just trying to sound nice.
But I like the idea of something different, because I think that could be influential in how I feel about the movie.
I think Eric Sara should have done the soundtrack.
Oh, God. Let's not make it worse.
He's on tour at the moment. Do you know that?
Are you going to go and see him?
Only in France, unfortunately. Where I nearly had to go to next week.
Oh, can you imagine?
I would have
you
gone.
Sending selfies from an Eric Sara concert. Play the GoldenEye song that ruined the movie. God.
Oh, dear God.
There's also songs sung by Lily in the European version that are cut from the American version. It's so confusing and messed up, and I sort of started losing the will to live when I was looking into it, because I couldn't get my head around it.
It's classic Ridley Scott, isn't it?
Isn't it? Because this is what I was going to say.
They did the same thing with Blade Runner. How many different bloody versions of Blade Runner are there?
Over 7.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
you've
got voiceovers, changed endings, unicorn dreams. I mean, it's just mad. He's worse than George Lucas with his special editions.
Yes.
And this notion of a director's cut is nonsense as well. We'll come on to that in a bit. But cut it properly before you release it.
Yeah.
This heat's making me angry.
Yeah.
But musically, I just don't know what else to say about it. The music wasn't really problematic, but it didn't really do anything for me.
No, or me. I've got nothing to say about the music, to be honest. I don't.
It's weird, isn't it? There's so much to talk about with the music because there's so much that sort of fucking went wrong with it. And how can you have two entirely different versions of the movie with different scores? And there's a quote from Ridley that said, I think this was a contemporaneous quote, where he said, European audiences, this is me paraphrasing, European audiences are more sophisticated than the Americans, who like a bit of a sort of a more less subtle approach, should we say. And so that was his reasoning. Just, Ridley, what do you like? What do you want? Put that on it. You can't do a different score for every country. I mean, where does it end?
Nuts.
Oh, God.
I've got a note here about sound effects and particularly the reverb on Tim Curry's vocals when he talks. There's this wonderful reverb that gives him so much depth when he's talking, and it's just, I mean, it's really noticeable, but it's just wonderful. It's just the right amount of deepness coming from his voice. It's great. And I don't know, did you ever play Dungeon Keeper when you were younger? It's a computer game that was like, I don't know, probably came out in 97, 98.
Oh, it rings a very strong bell.
It's brilliant. I loved it at the time. Really, really cool. And there's a voiceover. Yeah. The voiceover is actually done by the guy that does one of the voices in Peppa Pig. I forget his name, but it's very similar. And I wondered if the Tim Curry, the darkness in this film actually helped to create that in some way. You know? Yeah,
because you see the inspiration for the character.
I reckon the inspiration's there for the same sort of vocals, because the way that the devil, or the dungeon keeper, if you will, talks in that game has got a very similar accent. Anyway, right, there you go.
Let's talk about things we want to talk about. Do you want to go first? Have you got any?
I suppose that was one I just did, sort of. I mean, I had it noted under music because it was under,
music and sound effects.
Yeah, But it's basically fucking Peter Pan, right? It's basically Peter Pan. Yeah, that's what I take from it, because you've got Tinkerbell, you've got this forest boy, farm boy. Fairy light, bubbles floating around. It's all very childish, running around in this lovely wood. It feels very sort of Peter Pan, but instead of Hook, you've got the devil.
Yep, totally see that.
Olive said it's very Shakespearean. Some of the script felt very Shakespeare. And there's a lot of dark crystal going on as well, which obviously. And I wonder if a lot of it, or some of the visuals, influenced some of the Lord of the Rings design.
Yeah, I can see that.
Do you know there's a lot of that forest dark kind of
bright lights in the forest type thing?
That sort of dark fantasy thing that's going on. And Angus said, like, it's very Zelda in places, the computer game Legend of Zelda in areas in the woods in Zelda. And he said, it's very Zelda. I've also got no idea what's going on.
I'll be honest, I was pretty much on the same page as Angus.
That's it. Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's a very simple plot, effectively.
There's a plot.
Well,
sorry, I didn't notice that.
Like, I just throughout, I'm just watching this going, I don't know how far into the movie I am, and I don't really know what's going on. It's so weird that it's so simple and yet so muddled.
I've just got written down the acid trip plotting.
Yeah.
Like she throws the ring in the water, and then he's jumping in after it, and then suddenly everything's covered in ice and snow, and then there's bubbles, and then it's, what the fuck? Then there's the devil, and then, God, what is going on here?
I do feel a bit like I was on drugs watching it, and I thought it was just the heat, but maybe it's not.
And then you've got the goblin that looks like Count Binface, who always stands for local elections in the UK.
Who's been very funny this year.
He's been very funny this year. God, I love that about our elections. Yeah. I love it.
I just find the whole tonality of the movie quite confusing, and it's not the first Ridley Scott movie I've said that about. In fact, I'm going to do a bit of a hot take, right? I think Ridley Scott is one of the most overrated directors. I think his brother's probably the better director, was R.I.P. And his great movies, that's me going great in quotes, are not even the best movies of their respective franchises. His Alien isn't as good as Alien 2. His other Alien movies are disastrous. Blade Runner isn't as good as Blade Runner 2049. And Hannibal is at best the third best Hannibal Lecter movie.
Gladiator was good though.
Yeah, it was all right. And these Robin Hood movies nowhere near the best Robin Hood movie.
With Tony Scott, you know exactly what you're going to get. It's going to be a fucking action film from start to finish. Rock and roll. Yeah. Ridley Scott is certainly more nuanced and likes to tell a bit of a story, whereas Tony Scott's like, let's blow shit up. Yeah, it's good. And you're dead and brilliant, and he saves the world. Yeah.
I think a lot of time Ridley is a bit style over substance.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. That is a hot take.
Yeah.
That is a hot take.
It's funny, isn't it? You sort of grow up going, yeah, Ridley Scott's movie's good. And then you look back and you go, fucking hell, I don't really want to watch any of them.
I loved Gladiator. And the remake or the reboot or the redo or the sequel. Fucking dog shit.
They did put that quote on the poster.
Yes. Fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say during this is I can totally see that if I'd seen this as a kid, I could be drawn into this magical world. And we've said this before, but like I don't have that nostalgia connection, but all the ingredients I can sort of see are there. If I'd seen this at really, formative years, 12 or something, or around that age, I could totally be sucked in by this. Mm-hmm. And now I'll be like, oh my God, this movie's so magical.
This is the thing. And again, I've said it before, some of these films, if we'd seen them as kids, we would have loved them, and I haven't, so it hasn't stayed with me. I love Labyrinth because I watched it as a kid and absolutely adore it now because it stayed with me as a kid. You love Karate Kid because you watched it as a kid. I didn't, and I just don't really get it. I think it's the same with this, and I think a lot of people that love this film watched it as kids, and I think, and I tried to watch it with that mind, and I just couldn't. I've become an adult, unfortunately. Yeah. I can't just get lost in it, which is a sad thing in a way.
Like I said, I did watch it in a heat wave. I couldn't concentrate, and I knew it was escaping me, and it's really unfair on the movie. I stopped watching it on one day and carried on about 2 days later when it wasn't really much cooler. But it's too late by that point. Any more things you want to talk about?
Just an observation. Have you noticed how heavily fantasy films lean on dwarves?
Yeah. I mean, they are at the right height.
Labyrinth, Willow, Time Bandits. Like, there's so many of these kind of fantasy films that have got, dwarves in.
Weird, isn't it? Can we do that bit again? When you say, have you noticed how heavily lean on dwarves? Do that line again. Oh,
I see what you mean. There's a joke there. Yes.
Go on, do it again.
All right. Have you noticed how heavily fantasy films lean on dwarves?
Well, they are at the right height. Oh, God. Yes, you are right, though. Right, it's about the end of the movie. Question is, the end of which movie? Because there are 3 versions of this.
Right.
How long was yours, and which one did you watch?
Well, I watched, it's got Jerry Goldsmith music in, and it was an hour and a half.
So that's the European version.
Okay, cool.
The European version is 93 minutes. The American version is 89 minutes. The one with Tangerine Dream.
Even less than an hour and a half.
Even less. And I, like a fucking idiot, not knowing any better, knowing what I was watching, watched the 114-minute director's cut. Jesus.
Wow.
Half an hour longer. And it's got a different ending. They've all got different endings.
All of them?
Yeah, right. So this is when you said you were struggling to watch it, and I insisted you at least watch the end. This is why. So
okay.
So here, I'll just spell it out. This is from Wikipedia, which is sort of the most clear explanation of the endings. In the American theatrical version, Jack and Lily assure each other of their love and watch the unicorns reunite, and they run off into the sunset together, held by the forest fairies and the unicorns. Darkness watches them from the void, laughing. That's the American version.
I've not seen that one.
The European version also ends with both Jack and Lily running off to the sunset, but without darkness.
Exactly. That's the one I've seen.
Yeah. What a lovely, happy ending, ultimately. In the director's cut, here we go, Ridley Scott.
They all die.
Lily wakes with Jack trying to convince her she was merely dreaming, but she's ultimately unconvinced. They confess their true love for each other, but Lily realises they live in 2 different worlds. She puts the ring on his finger and tells him to treasure it, then asks if she can come back tomorrow. Then Jack says he will always be there for her, and Lily returns to her home and her responsibilities. Jack happily runs off into the sunset, held by the forest fairies and the revived unicorns. What the fuck?
Is what? So
it was so weird an ending.
So, but the thing is, he filmed all these endings presumably at the same time. So he's just like, well, let's get some different ones in the bag. Like, at this point, you're not even vaguely sticking to the script, are you? You're just like, well, we'll film this one, and we'll film a bit of that, and we'll film a bit of this, and we'll just mush it all together in post and see what sticks.
Yeah. I don't mind, recording some options to see how it fits the rest of the movie when it comes together. But you've released 3 different endings now in different territories. What are you playing at, man?
I mean, they did a similar. I know we're harking back to the film I've always gone on about as a bit of a laugh, but Le Grand Bleu has 2 very different endings depending if you're in the States or in Europe. Very different endings,
right?
Are
they? And which is the better? Which is the worse?
Is
it like a happy and a sad one? Or?
No. There's an ambiguous one and a happy one. I like the ambiguous one.
Yeah, I like an ambiguity.
I don't want sunset riding all the time. It's like, all right. It's like resolving. Sometimes you don't resolve a chord progression. You just leave it on the E minor.
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, jazz, eh?
I think the European ending is the worst of all. Not the worst of all the endings. It's worse than the American ending. I like having the darkness looking over
laughing.
Them. Like that. I like that ambiguity. It's a bit like Flash Gordon. The end? ?
Yeah, exactly. Because he's not dead after all.
But the director's cut is dreadful. Dreadful.
Right.
There's also I think to talk about the ending. That end battle between Jack and the darkness. I believe it. I think I love. Has some weird slow-mo shots that weren't filmed in slow-mo.
No, it's so jarring. It's
quite
so
juddery.
Jarring when they try and slow down 24 frames a second even more. And it's like, no.
And it's just weird editing choices. Like there's a shot where Jack hits the ground and they're like, well, we'll put that in slow motion. Like, why?
Why?
What's that motivation for that?
It's weird, isn't it?
Weird is
I
the
like
word I wrote
the
down.
pyro coming out of the ground, like obviously the darkness is shooting the flames or what have you, and it's coming out. But actually, then Jack's rolling this way and that way, and that was kind of cool. I like the pyro going on, but again, that's down to the visuals and what what they could create, which I love. I just like, a bit of fire coming out here, great. Let's do the visuals. Love it.
Yeah. Favorite scenes and lines.
Yep.
Okay.
The credits.
But I got to the point where I was like, I haven't written down any favourite lines yet. I'm going to have to give it a conscious effort. I haven't
written any down at all.
And so for the rest of the movie, I went, right, I'm going to be alert for some lines. So there's the bit where the ugly swamp woman is being told by Tom Cruise that she's attractive. And she just says...
Who's actually played by a guy.
Yeah. And she says, very discerning taste. I just thought it was so shit, but so amusing. It did make me laugh. And then when they're going to save the princess at the end and they're trying to sneak into the devil's lair, one of them says, any more noise and you're shish kebab.
Yes.
So weird.
That was.
I did like the big plate throwing.
I liked that. It felt very comic where they're tossing these plates around to each other and they're catching and putting.
Really impressive.
Yeah.
Like I assume they did that practically and it looked great.
Yeah. No, I like that. You're right. Yeah, that's a fair shout.
But just my whole favourite thing about the movie is just the way it looked, really.
Yes. Yeah, very much. No, the visuals were gorgeous. I've got one part I want to mention. I was watching the credits for a while and quite early on it says... I forget the gentleman's name. I couldn't rewind it for whatever reason on the streaming service I was using. It wouldn't let me rewind. But the credit itself was such and such Unicorn Master.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's like, yes, brilliant.
When I'm older, I want to be a Unicorn Master, Daddy.
Yeah, I like that.
Good luck with that, son.
Yeah.
So time to rank it then.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And this is a difficult one because so we just said... S tier for the visuals, totally. I'm all over those visuals. I think the set work is gorgeous. I think the lighting is gorgeous. And I think the cinematographer has done an outstanding job. But
however, everything
else is just a fucking mess. But Tim Curry's wonderful, obviously.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So prosthetics, makeup, visuals, everything about it, plot, and most of the acting and just what's going on. I just can't follow this.
Can I cut you off right there? I'm giving it a D.
Are you? Oh, shit. Okay. Okay.
Are you going to get higher?
I'm going to give it a C.
Okay.
But only because visuals.
Yeah.
They totally saved it for me. They did. I love the visuals. I think it's gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. Unlearned.
And I think I think that deserves not a D. It wasn't a total train wreck because I think it looked stunning. So yeah, I'm basically, it's borderline D, but no, I'll give it for the visuals. I think they did a stunning job there.
I just can't think of anything I want to watch less right now.
No.
And actually, it made me think,
I really had to force myself to watch this one. I did.
Yeah. It made me think of, because of the Disney link, The Black Hole, which we did fairly recently. And I just kind of want to watch that again. I was watching this going, I'd rather be watching The Black Hole.
Yeah.
But there we are. The fact this movie came out after Alien and Blade Runner, I mean, I was going to be kind to it on the basis that it was an early movie in Ridley's career, but you can't apply that generosity when you've directed Alien and Blade Runner.
No, that's the thing.
Like, there's no naivety about it.
He knows what he's doing by this point. I mean, he's a director. He knows what he's doing. Yeah.
Roger Ebert said the film, he gave it 2 stars out of 4. And he said the movie was composed of all the right ingredients to be successful, but the film, quotes, simply doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was amusing. Let's see what our Patreons think about it, though, because we could be way off as usual. Not as usual, we're very rarely off by much.
Simon Morrison, he says, my abiding memory of this film is that the big monster scared the bejesus out of me, and it still seems pretty scary now. I have a real soft spot for this movie, as it was a video shop staple back in the day. It's been a good few years since I watched it, so my ranking can't carry a lot of weight. It always seems like a solid B tier from memory. Be intrigued to see what you make of it.
Oh, okay.
Well, you've just seen what we've made of it.
I'd be interested in Simon's modern thoughts on that as well after seeing it.
Yes.
So Bryn is the one who nominated Legend in our Patreon. And then it was voted. No, was it voted? We spun the wheel, didn't we, to find out the what we picked. So it's Bryn who put it forward, and he suggested it not because it's one of the greatest movies ever made, but because it's one of the strangest.
Yep, definitely.
I don't have a long history with the film. I remember being terrified of the big poster of Tim Curry's Darkness in my cinema foyer when I was a kid, but it'd been many years before I finally watched it. I wasn't blown away, but I was fascinated by how well Ridley Scott had captured the surreal and frightening world of classic fairy tales. I'd agree with that. The story's messy and often absurd, but then those old tales were too. This is definitely not a fantasy adventure like Willow. It's visually magnificent. Amen. As you'd expect from Scott, and the acting's generally good from all the performers, particularly Sara. However, there's a reason why Tim was the face of this film. His character is one of the greatest fantasy villains ever created. Yeah. Yes, I would agree with that. Both to look at and his mesmerising performance, he's truly the stuff of nightmares. As for the score, I'm not sure if you'll be seeing the version by Tangerine Dream or Jerry Goldsmith, but both are wonderful in their own way. Bryn's gone hard. He's seen both.
Right.
But whether you love it or hate it, I hope, like The Black Hole, Legend's given you a lot to think and talk about. Ranking it, I have to acknowledge its weaknesses. But unlike those miserable old critics, I'm not... Let me try that again. But unlike those miserable old critics, I'm not blind to its strengths. A solid B from me.
Okay. It's funny that he says one of the best lines, and his personal favourite, the dreams of youth are the regrets of maturity. I quite like that.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
That is good.
I miss that. Kat on Patreon has said, I had not seen Legend in such a long time, and while it might not be the best fantasy film ever made, it still creates a magical, dreamlike world, unlike almost anything else in fantasy cinema.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, absolutely. It feels more like a dark fairy tale brought to life rather than a conventional fantasy adventure. The film combines stunning practical effects as opposed to mass CGI, and it creates an atmosphere that is both enchanting and unsettling. The vast forest sets, creatures and costumes give it a sense of wonder that still holds up today. Add that an unforgettable performance by Tim Curry as Darkness, one of the most striking fantasy villains ever put on screen, and it's easy to see why the film has become such a beloved cult classic. I went into it watching it without any nostalgic thoughts, as it's a film I remember loving when it came out. I can't give it an S, but I enjoyed it and would watch it again at some point. So I think it's a low A from me. Right. There you go. Sorry. I mean, visually, this is the thing. Everyone's going hard on the visuals, aren't we? You know, everyone's saying...
It's hard on visuals and hard on Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't use the sentence hard on Tim Curry.
I don't know. Have you seen him in the Rocky Horror Picture Show? I got hard on with Tim Curry.
You wouldn't kick his hooves out of bed, would you?
There's an interview with him, and he says, I really enjoyed being an 8-foot-tall superhero with loads of muscles. It's just in typical Tim Curry fashion. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I just think for me, the visuals were brilliant, and Tim Curry's brilliant, but it's just not enough to pull it together or pull the ranking up.
I just don't know what they were thinking when they filmed this. Like what they were what Scott was thinking. Like,
I think I've got a bit of an anti-Ridley Scott thing going on in my head at the minute as well, which is perhaps unfair.
Yeah.
Anyway, right, we'll both be back next week with the Fast Forward episode, which is going to look at our favourite makeup and prosthetics in the movies, which should be a bit different. How are you feeling about that?
I'm looking forward to telling you what I'm going to be talking about.
Yes, when you think about it, right?
I know, right? I've got to think about it now. So I've got to think of some films.
But what's the next movie we'll be rewinding on the main show? Well, this time it's my turn to pick. And AJ, I will say this. It's something you've never seen, but you are aware of.
Oh.
And if anyone needs any more of a clue, there's Prince, an orphan, and a bloke who can't stop smiling. So that'll be next week.
Oh, is it the one with Tommy Lee Jones?
No, it's the first one. It's the 1989 one.
Tommy Lee Jones is in one, though, isn't he?
He's in the third one, yeah.
Is this the one with Jim Carrey as the Riddler?
No, that's the third one. That's with Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, is it? Oh, God. Right, okay. Good.
But anyway.
Oh, yes. That's for fuck's sake. Anyway. I'd be shit in theatre. They'd be constantly prompting me from the wings. I just go off script. I just go off script, and I'd be like, oh shit, where are we now? Terrible ad-libbing for life. Anyway, please, for the love of God, leave us a review, whether you liked it or you didn't. Just leave a review either way. Whether that's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or whatever, it all really helps. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Rewind Classic Movies. If you want to drop us an email, it's rewindclassicmovies@gmail.com.
Right, that's the show. Thanks so much for spending time with us. If you want to come hang out, get behind-the-scenes updates, ad-free listening, bonus content, or early access to the episodes, then you can head over to our Patreon where you can get a backlot pass for just $5 a month. We'll see you next week. Sorry about the mess. Say goodbye, AJ.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.